Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Hello learners, this is again Teacher Muhyiddin Khalif. Today we will be navigating through a mathematical problem and the one we are having on the board. Let's read together, then we find the solution together. Now, if I read the question first before doing the question, pump P can fill an empty tank in 7.5 hours, while pump Q can fill the same tank in 11.25 hours. On a certain day when the tank was empty, both pumps were open for 2.5 hours. Determine the fraction of the tank that was empty at the end of 2.5 hours, carrying 4 marks. Now, this is a very important question. It's basically from the rate, ratio, and proportion. It's a 10 marks question. And I want us to look on what analogies do we apply so that it will be very much easier for us to solve a question of such nature. Now, as you can see, we have two pumps. That we have pump Q, pump P, and pump Q. Pump. We have two pumps. Pump P. We have pump P. We also have pump Q. Pump P can fill a tank in 7.5 hours. Pump Q can fill the same tank. It's not a different tank. The tank is only one that can be filled by pump P and can also be filled by pump Q. But the number of hours taken by pump P to fill the tank and the number of hours taken by pump Q to fill the tank are different. And therefore, the pipe P will take 7.5 hours, while pump Q will take 11.25 hours. Now, the question is, the fraction, the two pumps were open for 2.5 hours, after which they were closed. And again, you were asked, find the fraction that was empty at the end of 2.5 hours. Class, if a pump P can take 7.25 hours to fill a whole tank, what do you think in 1 hour, what can it fill? Very good. Now let's look at this question. Now let's simplify this one into, this one is a mixed fraction into improper fraction. It will be 15 out of 2 hours. And this one, it will be into improper fraction, 45 out of 4 hours. Now class, if the tank can take 15 out of 2 hours to fill the whole tank, what will it take in 1 hour? Now in 1 hour, the pump P can fill 1 out of 15 out of 2. And therefore, that can be translated 1 out of 15 out of 2. When we reciprocate this one, we're going to get that pump P can fill a tank in 2 out of 15. In 1 hour, it can fill 2 out of 15 of the tank. In 1 hour, pump P can pump 2 out of 15 of water into the tank. Let's look at pump Q in 1 hour. In 1 hour, pump Q. Fraction, it will be 1 out of 45 out of 4. That means when we reciprocate this one, we're going to get 4 out of 45. 4 out of 45 of the tank. Now class, these are the fractions filled by pump P and Q in 1 hour. 2 out of 15 and 4 out of 15. Now, what's the question? Now, total fraction filled in 1 hour by both pump P and Q. Total fraction filled. Total fraction filled by P and Q. It will be 2 out of 15 plus 4 out of 45. Automatically, the LCM is 45. 15, 45 3, 6 plus 4. That is 10 out of 45. And if 10 out of 45 you divide by 4 on both sides, 5 by both sides, you're going to get by 5, 2, by 5, 2, by 5, you're going to get 9. Now that means in 1 hour class, both pump P and pump Q will fill 2/9 of the tank. 2/9 of the tank. In 1 hour, P and Q will fill 2/9 of the tank. Let's again come back here and finish up the problem. If in 1 hour, both pump P and pump Q can fill 2/9, class, what will be? Now we say in 1 hour, both pumps are going to fill 2/9. We're going to fill 2 out of 9. Now, what about 2.5 hours, which is 5 over 2 hours? What about 5 out of 2 hours? question mark. Now it will be very simple. 5 out of 2 times 2 out of 9 by 2 and by 2. Now class, 5 out of 9 of the tank will be filled in 2.5 hours by both pump P and pump Q, and that is now the answer here. Class, in solving this question, what do we check? We check the fraction filled by both pump P and pump Q in 1 hour. The fraction filled by both pump P and pump Q in 1 hour, class, in each case will be, this one will be 2 over 15 and this one will be 4 out of 15. Now, together the two pumps pumping water in 1 hour, what fraction will they fill? That means they're going to fill 2 out of 15 added to 4 out of 15 going to 10 out of 45. Simplification by 2, 5, 2 by 5, 9. Now again, this fraction was equal to the water pumped by the two pumps in 1 hour. Now what will be 2.5 hours, which translates into improper fraction as 5 over 2. Therefore, we're going to get 5 over 9 of the fraction, 5 over 9 of the fraction of the tank is filled by both pump P and Q in a span of 2.5 hours. That is how you get your 4 marks. Very simple. Let's go to the next part B of the question. Part B of the question reads very simple. Part B of the question reads, pump P was allowed. Pump P was later opened alone to completely fill the tank. Determine the time it took pump B to fill the remaining fraction of the tank. Very good. Now class, the remaining fraction of the tank. Now determine the fraction of the tank that was empty at the end. This was the fraction filled. Fraction remaining. Remaining fraction. No, remaining fraction. Remaining fraction. It will be 9 over 9 minus 5 over 9. It will be 4 out of 9 remaining fraction. Or you can say empty. Remaining fraction or the empty fraction of the tank, that is it. And this is the answer, we have it here. This one was the one, the fraction filled, and this is the filled. This is the filled. And this is the empty fraction. Now pump B was later opened alone to completely determine the time it took pump B to fill the remaining fraction of the tank. Remaining fraction. In 1 hour, pump B will 2 out of 15 liters, right? Now, what's the remaining fraction? What about 4 out of 9? 4 out of 9, cross multiply. Now it will be 4 out of 9 times 1 divided by 2 out of 15. Now if we this reciprocate, 4 out of 9 times 1 times 15 over 2. Very simple. By 2, 1, by 2, 2. By 3, 3, by 3, 5. Now if we multiply everything there, it will be 10 over 3, 10 out of 3. And class, we know 10 over 3 translates into 3 hours, 3 1/3 hours. Now, meaning if the two pumps pumped the tank for 2.5 hours, pump Q was closed, pump P was to continue pumping water. That means in 1 hour, pump B was able to pump 2.25 hours. Now, what time will it take to fill a tank that was remaining 4 over 9 of the fraction? And that is how we get that solve that problem here. Now, class, let's look at the last question, or part C of the question. The two pumps P and Q are operated by different proprietors. Water from the full tank was sold for cash 15,750 shillings. The money was shared between the two proprietors in the ratio of the quantities supplied by each. Determine the amount of money received by the proprietor of pump P. Now, class, the very simple question. This one is requesting that there were two pumps. We have pump P and we have also pump Q. These two pumps, they pumped water at a different rate. And the amount of water pumped by pump P and pump Q is the way which these two proprietors or the two persons are paid. Now, what we know is that the time, we need to know the time taken by pump P, because we are asked here to find the pump P. We are not interested in another pump. Time taken by pump P to time taken by pump B. Time taken by pump P. Now, it will be, the time taken by pump B was the first time both the pump B and pump Q were sharing, that was the 2.5 hours. That was the first time hour. Plus, again, the time it took alone when it was 4/9 of the fraction of the tank was remaining. That is 3 and that hours. Now class, let's do this. 2 plus 3, 5. Now a half plus a third, LCM 6. 3 plus 2, 5 whole number, 5/6 hours. Very good. That was the time taken by pump P to pump water into this tank. Again, how can we get the amount of water pumped by pump B water into the tank? We do this very simple. We say if in 1 hour it was able to pump 2 out of 15 water into the tank. Now, in this one it will be into improper fraction. It will be 35. That 5 times 6 times 5, 30 plus 5, 35 out of 6 hours. Question mark. Now it will be 35 out of 6 times 2 out of 15 divided by 1. Very simple. By 2, 1 by 2, 3. By 5, 3. By 5, 7. Now it will be 7 times 1 divided by 3 times 3, which is 7 out of 9. Is that, are we done with the question? No. This means 7 out of 9 of water, it pumped, the amount of water it pumped was 7 out of 9. Amount pumped. 7 out of 9 is amount. The tank was sold, the ratio quantity supplied. Quantity supplied. Now you got the amount of water or the quantity supplied by pump Q by simply doing the total time taken by pump B. Then if 1 hour it was supplying this amount of quantity. In 1 hour this pump was supplying this amount of water, and what about the total hours it took? It supplied at 7/9 of the quantity of the water. And therefore class, this means that if 7/9 of the quantity supplied, that means, and the total 2 people who are pumping, both who are the operators of pump P and pump Q, were given an amount of money that was totaling to shilling 15,750. But this money was subject to their amount of water or the quantity of water that was being supplied into the tank. I want you to get this concept very right. That with these 2 proprietors were different people. They were having pump. One was using pump. One was owning pump P, and another one was owning pump Q. But again, and the total amount of money allocated for these 2 persons was shilling 15,750. And again, the way in which the ratio in which this amount of money could be shared was subject to the amount of water supplied, in this case, which is referred to as the quantity supplied. Now, we ask the amount of money that the proprietor of pump Q got as a share. Now, how do we go about that? We take the total time taken by pump P to pump water into the tank. Now, next thing you also need to expertise or to have a clue on is again, in 1 hour, what amount or quantity does it supply? Then you get the quantity supplied by pump P. From there now we say, if total one was supposed to be 15,750 and the quantity supplied was 7/9, we come here very simply, 7 out of 9 times 15,750. Now the answer will be very simple. 15,750 divided by 9 times 7. Now it will be 12,250. Determine the amount of money received by proprietor B to 12,250. 12,250. And that is the end of the question. We wish to meet in the next time. Have a nice weekend.